when you smoke weed, you don't really feel like getting behind the wheel of a car and going places. You know what I mean? You don't feel like getting off the couch. It's the best thing ever for an alcoholic. Make them smoke weed, they'll never leave their house.
The only time you get up is when you realize you're really hungry.
Yeah.
And then you're covered.
I used to do this thing. I don't smoke much anymore, but I didn't start drinking until I was 21. Even though I was living in the UK and I think the drinking age is 18, I was such a way too good kid. I started drinking when I was 21. I smoked pot for the first time when I think I was 27. It was on the set of Hustle and Flow. They rolled real joints. We had to pass them.
That made sense.
But I realized for continuity's sake that the joint was always in the wrong place for cuts, for editing. So I smoked 5 blunts the first time I ever smoked pot. I was out of my mind. The actors took me back to my trailer and I was all freaked out. I was like, what is this feeling? I was paranoid is what it was. So I went back and I was like, I'm getting fired. And they turned on the TV. You remember that 90s sitcom Mad About You? It was Paul Reiser. So I started watching that. And it was one of those shows where it's like every season they do like, oh, remember when this happened? It was like a clip show of things that happened in the past. But I'm watching it in a linear way, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Does this make sense to you? And they're like, no, honey, it's a clip show. It's a clip show. And I'm like, oh. 2 seconds later, I'd be like, this doesn't make any sense. And so we realized that perhaps weed is not the drug for me. So what's wrong with weed is that they now are breeding, they're doing strains that are just, you take it and your brain turns to mush, right? Like, it's too strong. There's a strain called Trainwreck, and I have a problem sleeping, and my buddy gave it to me to go to sleep, and I smoked a little bit of it. It's like 11:30 at night on a Tuesday, and I'm by myself, and I started getting really paranoid and scared, so I Googled it, and it says, do something non-challenging. So I turned on public broadcasting, PBS, started watching this documentary about Mary Pickford, the first movie star in the 20s. She was huge. There's no star alive today that's like her. Well, I know nothing about her. About the middle of the documentary, I start predicting things that are going to happen to this woman. And so I start freaking out, and I'm like, how do I know this? So I go online, and I look up, she died the same year I was born. And of course, the logical step, I'm Mary Pickford reincarnated. So I believe it. So I start calling people, which you should never do when you're high. So I'm calling my buddies, go, hey, call me back, I'm scared. I think I'm Mary Pickford reincarnated. Like, I call 10 people. Everyone's asleep. So I watch it, and I'm trying to calm myself down. Toward the end of the documentary, I was like, if they hand her an honorary Oscar at the very end, but she's like 80, I'm gonna lose my shit. And they did, and I lost my shit. So I finally went up going to sleep. I wake up the next morning, all these missed calls and messages going, dude, did you call me last night saying that you're Mary Pickford? What's going on over there? Call me back. And I looked online and found out that I had watched the documentary, but I was so high. They played it twice, back to back. I was so high, I sat through it the whole first time. And about the middle of the second one, I was like, this is really familiar. Because I just fucking seen it. And that's when I realized I'm not Mary Pickford, and I should not smoke weed. I don't know if I believe in that or not. I don't know what I believe.
So you won't be subscribing to the Shirley MacLaine theories or any of that stuff?
I mean, who knows? It could be real stuff. I don't crap on anybody's beliefs or religions, because you never know. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'll be the guy who, like, his last breath, like, God, don't, I'll die.
Fair enough. One thing, there are a couple things I had to ask you, because one of them was, you said a while back during the big supernatural room that you were doing, was that you had a love and sometimes fear of the fans of Garth. Was there something, but you never elaborated, I'm just curious, was there something that actually happened during that?
I mean, I'd been working for about 12 years before I started Supernatural, so I knew a little bit of fame and notoriety. I knew what that felt like, but cult fame is scary, right? These people, I mean, I'd also never seen the show before I signed on for Supernatural. They sent me 1 episode, and I was like, I didn't want to be on a show, they offered it to me, I didn't want to be on a show that I was not only less good looking than the 2 leads, but like shockingly so, and I was like, how do I fit into this world? It's 2 really good looking dudes with really like overly coiffed hair killing monsters. I was like, I don't want to do that. And so then the showrunner at the time called me, and she was like, if you don't do this, you're a dick, because we wrote it for you. And I was like, I don't want to be a dick. So I did it, and immediately, like, I went from like 8,000 Twitter followers to like 75,000 Twitter followers, like, in 2 days. Wow. And I was like, that's a little creepy. And then when Bobby died, Bobby's like the guy on the show who was like sort of the dad figure. He's like the master hunter. He sort of gives everyone advice. When Bobby died, I took over his duties for a while. And the network touted it as DJ Qualls is the new Bobby, or my character Garth is the new Bobby. And I got hate tweets, like so many, like "screw you, we're gonna find you," and like threats. And so I called Jared Padalecki, and I was like, "This sucks." And he was like, "I know, this is part of it." But yeah, people can be really, they can be scary, but they're also really lovely. They'll follow you. Unlike Twilight, those fans, those kids didn't follow any of those actors to other things. The Supernatural fans. My show was struggling last year, and I did a tweet to the fandom and said, "Could you help us tonight by tuning in?" We went up 256%, and we went 18 to 54 in one night. So they will follow you, and they're really, really loyal. So yeah, it's been great. And also, the show's allowed me to travel all over the world. I'm here right now in New Zealand talking about the show at cons, and last year I was in Germany and Prague and Birmingham, England, so we get to go everywhere. So it's really great. Supernatural is a show about these two brothers that I don't really watch the show. You don't want to watch anything you're on because it's like I've seen you naked and crying in my bathroom, like one of the actors. Like I can't believe you.
I assume you don't want to say who that was.
No. And
you sure you weren't high and you weren't looking anywhere at the time?
No.
Okay.
I'm usually the dad in all these scenarios. I'm the guy who says it's time to go. No, but like it's about two really handsome brothers who have a troubled past. I think their father was a hunter of monsters, and I think he got killed by one. So now they're on a quest to kill things, and as they are doing it, they're starting to realize the lines are blurred. That's where we are. I think we're in the 9th season now. So the lines are blurred, and I was one of their longtime friends. I'm also a hunter I'm a quirky hunter with different methods. And I've been missing for like a year on the show, and it was actually because I was shooting my own show, legit. But we explained it by now a werewolf. I was bitten when I was trying to kill a werewolf, and now I am a werewolf, and I live in a pack of wolves in Wisconsin, and I know, and I'm married to a werewolf. I'm hoping that she dies somehow because she's keeping me from hunting, thus from keeping me going back on the show. So she's got to die.
Women.
I know. But I wouldn't recommend that in real life. Don't tell your wife to be able to do stuff. But this one has to die. I'm hoping that they kill her.
So legit, you're a very busy guy.
I'm on 3 shows right now. I do Supernatural.
Yep.
I do Legit. We just got canceled. But I picked up another show, which I'll tell you about in a minute.
Sure.
And I recur on a show called Perception. It's an FBI show. I play an FBI agent in it. I know. And when I was like, "What FBI? I can't play," but I'm like I'm always like the quirky version of something. Like I'm the quirky cop or the quirky lawyer. Well, now I'm a quirky FBI agent. So Legit was the thing that I'm most proud of in my entire career. It's about this Australian comedian named Jim Jeffries. I think they'll run the full series in New Zealand because we got 2 before they canceled us. There's a possibility that we may go to another network. It's the best quality work I've ever done. I play a guy who's severely disabled. I have an advanced stage of muscular dystrophy. I'm in a wheelchair. I can only move 2 fingers on my right hand. And it's heartbreaking and really laugh out loud funny at the same time. The best critical response to any show in the last 12 months. It's been amazing. We just didn't pull in the viewers, so they gave us the acts, and that's the reality. Television is a business like anything else. And but the day that my show got canceled, it canceled about a week and a half ago. I got a call. So I was upset for about 20 minutes, and then I got a call. They've offered me a TV show called Z Nation. It's about the zombie apocalypse on Sci-Fi. It's a big budget, big scope. Sci-Fi is an interesting network. They do Sharknado.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. And so I was like, not to say anything bad about Sharknado. It's a good representation of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I'm not in the market to do that right now. 10 minutes before I have to give hand jobs for crack, I'll do Sharknado. Whenever my career really takes a dive, right before I hit the streets, I will do a Sharknado to see if I can keep me out of prostitution. But I'm not going to be in one of those parody movies.
The question is, would you do that to get into a Sharknado film at that point in your career?
I wouldn't do it to get into it, but I probably would do that kind of thing to revive my career. Once you are able to work at a high level and you start respect is kind of addictive. This is the first time in my career where I think it's because I've become part of the zeitgeist. When you start working long enough, and people start just thinking that you're a good actor because you've survived. I've been acting for 14 years, so people are now saying that I'm a good actor, and that's what I really always wanted. I mean, I want to do good work, but it's about like how I feel about the project and my work in it. And that's what I want, and so now people are starting to do that. So that's kind of addictive, and I think I probably would do something drastic, like if that was going to go away. I mean, most people would. I won't go there. Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that next time.
Anyway, not Sharknado, Z Nation.
Z Nation, yeah.
It's really well written. Harold Perrineau, who's on Lost, is in it, and an actor named Tom Everett Scott is in it. It has good actors, and it's well written. And we're not CGIing a bunch of stuff. We're using actual prosthetics. It's a really fast-moving show, and I'm excited to do it.
So, 2 things.
Okay.
One, I like to do a thing where it's we look up random internet rumors.
Okay. Oh my God. Was it that I used to date Courtney Love?
No.
Is that one of them?
But I will put that on here now. So all you have to do is say true, false, or past. They're not. You're really difficult to find, by the way, because you pretty much.
I have the best publicist in Los Angeles.
You answer everything. So the first one was that you actually believe that masturbating would keep you from growing a beard.
Somebody told me that, and it doesn't work. Well, I wouldn't know if it works or not because I made about 2 days. See, because now beards are in. Beards are the new mustaches, and because mustaches are really popular, but now beards have become the new mustache in Los Angeles. So I wanted to grow a really healthy beard. Somebody said, "Would stop masturbating, and it'll produce a bunch of testosterone." Because I have like an indie rock beard, which is like such a sad thing. It's like all patchy. It was cool. It would have been cool in the 90s. It's not cool now. Like the big thick beard is in. So I stopped. My buddy's like, "Stop masturbating," and I did. And like after 2 days, my friends started hating me, and they were like, "Dude, you're so aggressive. Fucking masturbate. We don't like you anymore."
All right.
So yeah.
Fair enough.
So I did think that for a minute.
And the second one, you were actually drunk on Supernatural during the drinking season.
Yeah, Jared Padalecki took me out for lunch, and we drank shots at this bar called the Cactus Club. Well, actually, it's a restaurant, and then he went home. He was done for the day, and I didn't know that. And I went back and shot my last scene of the episode. So yeah, I was loaded, and that's the only time I've ever been loaded on set, other than Hustle and Flow, when I got high on all that weed.
The last one, which was really out there, but you never know, was that you were actually up for a part as a house elf on Harry Potter.
No. Whoever wrote that rumor is probably you asshole.
No, I found it 6 times on 6 different forums.
Dude, people are out of their minds.
It's crazy.
No, but once my buddy brought a hooker to my house, and I just bought it, and I was angry. First of all, I don't do that. Second of all, I didn't even have sex in that house. And so he brought somebody over, and I'm in my nighttime glasses, which are really thick because I fall asleep in them sometimes. I have big plastic frames, and he socks and pajamas. I dress up to go to bed because I can't sleep without socks and a t-shirt on. And, well, now I'm able to sleep without socks, but it just started happening, and I'm in my late 30s. So this lady, this gas station, basically prostitute, I'm at my door, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And she walks past me and goes, "What's up, Harry Potter?" And then goes to my bar and starts making complicated drinks. I threw him out, too. We're still friends, but I was mad. How was a house elf?
I assume they mean the CGI kind of thing, but they said
I would have done it.
Locations.
I wish. People are idiots.
It was out there, so yeah. So those are the 3. Those are the worst rumors I could find about you.
Do they filter the internet here in New Zealand? Because there's so many true things that I've done that are on the internet that I'm embarrassed about. Look at TMZ, beaten up by a cop. Jokingly asked a paparazzo for cocaine and took me seriously. Who would do that? Dating Courtney Love, never happened. So many things that are...
Well, you've answered all those things, though. This is stuff where I thought, okay, that's so out there, I have to ask that kind of stuff.
I don't regularly recommend taking life lessons from Madonna, but she, in the 90s, when she was doing all that crazy stuff, like sleeping with Dennis Rodman and filming her vagina and all that stuff, if somebody asks you about something that you actually did, that's embarrassing, if your response is, "Yeah, so," there's nowhere you can go with that. I'm not a role model, look at me. No one's children should want to be like me. So yeah, I do whatever I want.
Fair enough.
Within reason, without hurting people, as long as no one else gets hurt in the process.